Welcome everyone to the show. I'm JJ Flazanes, your host. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today we're going to talk about natural remedies for the stress response. I've got back on Dr. Z pretty quickly here because we need some extra support in helping ourselves to calm down that stress response so that we can return back to what we know is true, which is that everything happens for a reason and we're being called into a new level of consciousness. And we're not going to get that when we're in that low-level fear place. And we want to make sure we can move into the trust, move into the certainty, move into the conscious brain, not the reptilian brain, and not come from reaction, but otherwise come from our higher self, connect to what we know is true innately, which is why we're all here having this conversation on my show, because you know there's something bigger than you, and you trust that there's a reason why things happen, and you feel called to help contribute to the evolution of this planet and of yourself. So today's show is going to be also focused a little bit on detox. So I just want to tell you a few things that have happened. As I was interviewing Dr. Z, we were talking about what we could talk about, and there are a few things within the natural remedy area that the FDA is really cracking down on. So don't be surprised if a lot of people who otherwise would give you advice are not right now because they are afraid of being shut down. And we were talking about all of the people in his community that were really suffering financially from what's going on. And he was giving me an example of a personal trainer. And I said, well, I've been a personal trainer online since 2009. I said, I think now is a perfect opportunity for people to pivot and to learn how to make money in different ways, because we all have information or a skill set or something that somebody else could benefit from. Now is really the time to learn how to monetize that, to learn what your zone of genius is, to learn what your gifts and talents are. If nothing else, to have a second or third revenue stream that you can count on, that you feel gives you freedom and flexibility. So then Dr. Z asked if I could be on his show, and we recorded it, and it should be up soon, and I will share it in the Inner Circle membership to start, and I may put it in the 30-day manifestation challenge as well. And for those of you that aren't involved yet, I am doing another free 30-day manifestation challenge tomorrow, April 1st. So for 30 days, we are going to focus on helping you stay accountable to doing some kind of practice that you get to choose, something for as little as 5 minutes or 8 minutes a day that gets you into a better frequency so that you can actually hear your intuition, connect with divine, connect with your deeper knowing, and then take action from there and contribute in a bigger way to what's going on right now as a beacon of light, as a solution, as the truth, and as an up-leveling of our consciousness. So I'm going to focus in April on getting everyone to focus on not only manifesting what is better for them, but to put an intention out into the universe that all of this fear, that all of this trauma that's going on with people, all of this awakening that's happening at such a deep level pays off to help us pivot into a new level of consciousness, into one where we feel more at peace. We have trust, we have freedom and flexibility, we have resilience, we take responsibility, and we understand and know what we're doing on a day-to-day basis with our point of focus. So if you want to come into the manifestation challenge, it's jjflazanes.com/30-day. I'll put a link in the show notes. But what I will tell you is if you don't do a lot of things on Facebook, it is mainly on Facebook. I have a page where all the tools exist online, but where we keep each other accountable, where the momentum happens, is in the Facebook group. So if you are not a Facebook person, this is probably not for you. I would recommend in that way that you just get the manifestation toolkit for $97 and do it on your own, and you can own the tools and have them forever. And that's also at jjflazanes.com. I will link you to that product as well. That way you can get started and have these tools forever. It is free in the challenge for the 30 days, but then you don't have access to it beyond that unless you purchase it. All right? So I'm looking forward to manifesting with all of you a higher level of consciousness, one that all of us really, really want. And I can't wait to do it as a group. What I'm also starting in April, probably not the best time considering a lot of you are probably not driving right now, is I am doing a swag bag giveaway. After having several events, 5 events, and having lots of fun companies give products to my guests and attendees of the different events, I have leftover product and I'd love to share them with you. And they're really very useful right now because they're things like energy bits and Zatique black seed oil, which is an antioxidant, a super antioxidant. We've got all kinds of goodies that can help you. Probiotics, Thrive Probiotics is another one. There's a list of at least 16 products that help boost your immunity. They're all gluten-free, some are keto, some are vegan, some of the food products. And so the swag bag giveaway is going to be really fun for you to experience some of these products for free. Now, how you can enter the swag bag giveaway is that you need to review the show. And I'm requesting that you review whichever show that you listen to. If you listen to more than one, I'm going to request either Spirit, Purpose, and Energy or Health and Wealth. So you're going to review the show on Apple Podcasts. If you listen to the show on Spotify, I believe that Apple Podcasts are free in other areas and you can get on there somehow. I believe Spotify doesn't do reviews, but if they do, you can do a review wherever you listen to podcasts and that they allow you to review. But you take a screenshot of your review. You're going to come over to jjflizanes.com/swagbag. You're going to enter your name and email address and upload that review. And then you are entered to get one of the 5 swag bags. And if I had to give it a value, it's definitely over a couple $100 of products in that swag bag. And you can view all the products at jjflizanes.com/swag-bag. The contest will run till the end of April, and I will pull the names May 1st and announce the winners. Again, there are 5 bags, and they will be mailed to you, your bag, if you're a winner. But you can only enter by reviewing the show and uploading the screenshot of the show to the swag bag giveaway page. So again, all of the links I've mentioned are in the show notes, so make sure to click on that to get the links. Today's show, Dr. Eric ZIELINSKI is the author of the national bestseller, The Healing Power of Essential Oils and the Essential Oils Diet. Dr. Z has pioneered natural living and biblical health education since 2003. Trained as an aromatherapist, public health researcher, and chiropractor, Dr. Z started naturallivingfamily.com in 2014 with his wife to help people learn how to use natural remedies like essential oils safely and effectively. Now visited by more than 5 million natural health seekers every year, naturallivingfamily.com has rapidly become the #1 online source for biblical health and non-branded essential oil education. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Z.
Well, thanks for having me. I love you. Appreciate your work. I love the chat that we just had. Super excited about this talk.
I appreciate you as well. My audience loved your show, and so many people have, I know, gotten a lot of your information and are using it and told me how much they appreciated. Finally, I told them, I know you've been waiting for many years to have this conversation, but I was waiting for the right person that I could find to connect with that wasn't just a rep of a company selling a product, because we all know that sometimes multi-level marketing people, and no disrespect to any of you who are out there doing it, but a lot of times you're educated by the people who are very invested in the sales of the product. And so sometimes while their science might not be skewed, your background is not necessarily in science. So welcome back to the show. I'm looking forward to us having a conversation. It's a 2-prong. We're going to talk about stress response, and we're also going to and how to use essential oils and to aim yourself in your health regimen to be able to handle and quickly pivot from that and be able to calm yourself, bring yourself into a space where you're utilizing your thinking brain and your feeling brain instead of the brain that wants you to just run and flee and fight or flight. But we're also going to talk about something really important to me, which is detoxification. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say from your point of view with your information. I've handled it from the food side, but never necessarily from the emotional or from the essential oil side. So let's get started. Where do you want to start?
Just considering what we've all been dealing with the last few months and weeks, crisis situations, stress response, I think it's really important to kind of like think about what have we learned lately and what have we learned in our lives. A lot of us go through crisis situations, whether it's a daily situation. So many people live in abusive environments. So many people are constantly stressed under the gun of losing their job, their home, their family, their kids. Like a lot of us are just in constant stress mode and crisis mode. And I think it's important to recognize that you have a lot of control over that. And especially in light of what's recently happened to the world, a lot of folks just allow themselves and do on a regular basis to lose control. They lose control of their thoughts. They lose control of the moment. They forget that they can just be still and be. And I think that's really important. And one thing I recognize that essential oils have the very uncanny ability to do is to help you just have a focal point. It's really hard when you tell people just meditate, calm your mind. Like, okay, yeah, I got 1,000,005 things going on through my head to tell me to, you know, and do yoga and clear my head. It's like impossible. So I've learned some of the best meditation teachers that I've worked with and studied under help you channel that energy, your mental processes, have a focal point, not just to clear your head. And one thing that I think is very practical that anyone can do when they're engaging in a crisis or very stressful situation is get an essential oil that you like. And we could talk about the ones that are good and ones that you might want to consider. But these aromatherapy inhalers that you can get on Amazon for just a couple dollars, it's a focal point. Looks like a lipstick tube or a chapstick tube, fits in your pocket, you can put discreetly in your office drawer or in your car. You saturate that aromatherapy tube with essential oils because there's a cotton swab in the middle. And then wherever you have this on the go inhaler. And so what I found that in that moment of crisis, and I can't tell you how many thousands of people we've helped over the last couple months do this, in that moment of crisis when you are freaking out, you can just pull out that inhaler and you smell and you close your eyes and you put all of your mindset and focal point of inhaling. Take 5 deep breaths, put the inhaler under one nostril, take 5 breaths and put the inhaler under the other nostril and take 5 breaths. And what you'll find is that is a very deep, some people say metaphysical experience where you just stop the world, where your whole focal point is just on breathing, which is key, deep breathing. But you're also realizing that you're doing something very beneficial because through the olfactory system, the volatile organic compounds in the essential oils are interacting with your amygdala, your limbic system, which is your mood, your memory, your brain, your emotions. And so you start to trigger happiness. You start to trigger some serotonin, some dopamine, some things that, wow, I just feel a little better. But you know what the key is though? It stops everything around you and it puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you a focal point and it's a very enjoyable focal point. And let your mind wander a little bit, saying, oh, that smells good. Or wow, that's cool. How many breaths again? 5? Oh, I forgot. Let me do another one, right? And that's where I've noticed having something like that at your disposal at all times is absolute gold.
So you mentioned the kind of product to get, but let's just say if somebody someone can just put some essential oils on a swab, right? Or put it on a finger or in the palm of your hand and inhale from there, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yet there are some considerations of, mess and safety and just the fact that you're going to have a bottle of essential oil with you at all times to do that kind of thing. But yeah, as long as you have something that is readily available, spritzers are another good strategy. A little glass spritzer bottle with some water and some essential oils. That's a good strategy too.
I have several on my desk as we speak. Let's talk about the kinds of essential oils that that are more effective than others, or are any of them good, just depending on what kind of scent you like?
That's a really good question because the answer is it's relative to who you are and your experience. And the more research I do and the more people I help, the more I recognize that our natural medicine needs to be customized to us, to not only our biochemical experience, because every moment of every day our biochemistry changes depending on your thoughts, the environmental triggers, what you're eating. And so you'll find an essential oil today will do something differently, just like anything, just like your supplements, just like your antibiotics, just like whatever it is, will have a different reaction to your body than it will in a month or year from now. So you really have to be in tune. You have to listen to intuition. And some people will find themselves being absolutely agitated immediately when they get around a certain smell. And it's not because that smell, let's assume it's essential oil and it's pure. It's not because it's bad for you. It's because what I've found is a lot of people have experienced a negative situation. So, imagine you were just told that you just lost a job, a husband, a child, your business. When there was an aroma in the air, like your brain will trigger that response of stress, anxiety, panic because of that imprint, because of that smell. Just like how when you walk into someone's home and maybe during Thanksgiving, that beautiful smelling Thanksgiving feast reminds you of grandma, which it reminds me. Or maybe you dated a girl or a guy that wore a special cologne or perfume, and 15, 20 years from now, you smell that cologne or perfume and it reminds you of that person. Like, that's how powerful smell is. It imprints your brain. So this is the thing is you have to do a little bit of experimenting when it comes to crisis management, stress reduction. As a whole, though, I will tell you, the oils of choice are the citrus oils, which include everything from petitgrain to neroli, which is orange blossom, orange oils, lemon, lime, grapefruit. Bergamot is one that's been studied extensively. Like, these oils have been actually shown to have anti-anxiolytic, which is anxiety relieving properties to help you literally stop a panic attack in its tracks. Stress relieving, mood elevation. They're known as antidepressants. It's just the way that the body reacts. Like, go back to maybe summertime when you're making freshly squeezed lemonade. Like, how do you not smell from the aroma of those essential oils being emitted once you cut the lemon? Same thing with oranges and limes. A lot of happy feeling because there's literal happy feeling chemicals that are being emitted by the brain when you smell these things. So that's a good start. Some things, kind of be cautious of. Lavender, believe it or not, has a very interesting way of triggering a variety of different emotions and experiences with people. But we have found that it could be sedative. It can actually trigger a negative response for some people. You see zero adverse reactions in the studies in the literature to citrus oils. But some of those oils, like again with lavender, it's really a hit or miss. And it's wild because people think, oh, lavender's calming. Well, not for some people. And some children that battle ADHD or learning disorders, they get agitated because of lavender. There have been more negative reaction to lavender than citrus. So I'm just saying, just as a rule of thumb, if you like earthy things, patchouli, frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, wonderful oils, earthy, grounding, ylang ylang. I mean, no one talks enough about ylang ylang. It's a very cost-effective tool for people because it's not very expensive. It's very powerful as a harmonizer. It's actually a known harmonizer, which means it helps your body reach homeostasis. And they've done heart disease studies where they've tested blood pressure and heart rate variability and pulse rate. And they've seen that people who have low pulse rate and high blood pressure having both conflicting measures balance, which are counterintuitive because when your pulse rate raises, your blood pressure should raise and vice versa. They have found that conflicting blood pressure and heart disease and heart just regulatory measures balance with the use of aromatherapy through ylang ylang, which means that it gives your body what your body needs to bring homeostasis. That's profound. Because what we're teaching here and what we're trying to educate is not an outside-in approach to treating a disease, but giving your body what your body needs to bring peace and harmony inside. So again, ylang ylang would be a wonderful one. During the recent coronavirus outbreak, what I found was a mixture of bergamot, frankincense, lime, and eucalyptus was just my jam. I'm still smelling it to this day. It was just something that I needed some respiratory support because something was going around and I was like, I need to breathe. That's where eucalyptus comes into play. Frankincense is so grounding. And, the bergamot and lime just uplifted my mood. Like, this was the blend that brought me through to start the work that I did as essentially an online first responder during this crisis. And what the cool thing is? Even today, weeks or months later, when I'm going through something or I need to feel empowered, I go to that blend because that blend it brings back positive memories. It makes me feel like I was in that situation I was a few months ago helping people. And this blend, I believe, will truly be an anchor for me for many years to come.
And did you do it with a diffuser?
All the above. Diffuser, topical application through body salves, you name it. I mean, this blend's actually safe to consume. So that would be another strategy that I use as well. I use it every which way that you possibly can. I have an infrared sauna, which I was able to, again, because, we were in quarantine. So what else am I going to do all day? I enjoyed that as well. And I gave myself a nice little neck rub and foot rub. And I enjoyed the sauna. I enjoyed the aroma. I mean, it was with me everywhere. And, my kids and my wife and everyone else enjoyed it as well. And my wife had her own little blend that she found. But what the thing was? It was very much intuitive. I was like, what do I need? And I started with that. And I'm like, okay, well, I need this. I need respiratory support. I want to breathe a little better, and I need grounding, and I need my mood boosted because, man, I just got crushed. We all got crushed, right? Who didn't get affected by that, and who isn't still, right? So you kind of start at a place of need. And then the more that you learn about essential oils, you learn, oh, okay, what helps with mood, or what helps with this, or what helps with that. And then you kind of play. And I love it. I love it. It's like Candyland for me. And I have all the oils you can ever imagine. Unfortunately, most people don't, but I do. So I've been able to play and master these blends, but you get what you got, or you use what you have. So I want people to open up their medicine cabinet and what oils do you have? Well, try those, see what happens. Try mixing a couple together. You'll find that you'll be led to do something very special that could help you in extreme ways.
So I love talking about the anti-anxiety choices of the citrus. I think that's fabulous because I do know people that have had a negative reaction to lavender.
Yep.
And I think this is just going to be a game changer for a lot of people. So make sure if you don't have, and I always gravitate towards the citrus anyway. Now my number one is eucalyptus. I have been inhaling eucalyptus a little bit too much incessantly for like a year. I don't know why, just my body said I needed it. And so I listened and I've been doing it. And so far, so good. So I'm going to keep going because I love it. And I add a little bit of peppermint to it as well. So these are great places to start for stress responders. And of course, there's other tools that I've had on my shows that you guys all know that we talk about, other aspects to things you can do. But I think essential oils do bring you right and present right now. It is very powerful. And I would encourage you all to try anything that you have on hand. And if something that you don't have sounds of interest to you and your intuition is sort of going, hey, get that, make sure to find whatever it is that you felt attracted to in that list that we just went over. Now, talking about stress responders, I also want to talk about detoxification. I actually was in Italy while this was all happening. I wasn't quarantined there. We got out a couple days beforehand, was never worried and was never sick. So, and I was never worried, and I laugh because I feel proud of myself. And so for any of you that did worry, this isn't a judgment against you. This is to put yourself in my shoes for just a half a second, because I want to go back and forth with what it is that we can do. How can we empower you? How can we help you moving forward so that next time, because there always will be a next time, at least every so often, right? Every couple decades or every decade or every however many years it is now, you know that there's always something potential going to happen. How do you prepare for that? And everything I've talked about on the show, literally everything, has been part of that preparation. But detoxification is something that, while I don't have any physical issues or ailments, so to speak, the understanding of, and I always tell the story of, having your lint trap in your dryer be full. Well, it's not going to do a very good job if the lint trap is full. You want to clean it out. That's the reason why you clean out, all the kinds of dust collectors and particle collectors in whatever you're trying to filter, because it makes it more efficient once you clean it out. And that's what detoxification is. So coming from the place of using mostly foods, let's talk about essential oils and detoxification.
So as a safety perspective, let me debunk a myth out there that was actually started by just some very well-intentioned network marketers years ago. A negative reaction on your skin when you use essential oils is never, ever detoxification. And people are living through burns, chemical burns. They're forcing themselves to use essential oils, not knowing that they just sensitize their skin, which is essentially contact dermatitis. So if you ever use essential oils on your skin, always dilute, for sure. Always dilute, because the concentration of these, volatile organic compounds are so much more than you'll ever get them through an herbal solution at all. And so it is very highly concentrated. And so if redness, burning, rashes, any of that, it's not detox. And I implore you, trust me, anything that's good for you will never have a negative side effect like this. And so with that said, though, essential oils do have a very powerful antioxidant, primarily mechanism, detoxification strategy that you could use. And due to the antioxidant capacity, we do see that essential oil compounds can induce detoxification and can induce the actual detoxification enzymes. And research has suggested prevent toxicity and even cancer in certain cell lines. And one chemical, a good chemical, plant-based chemical, is known as citral. And citral containing oils are very, very profound. And they've been shown to increase the activity of a key phase 2 detox enzyme known as glutathione S transferase. Everyone maybe should have heard of glutathione now. The antioxidant is known as the number one most powerful antioxidant. Well, if you use, ingest, inhale, apply topically citral containing essential oils, you can actually stimulate naturally occurring glutathione in your body, and it could help in a profound way. The four most potent essential oils containing citral are lemon myrtle, lemongrass, lemon tea tree, and Mei Chang, which is also known as Litsea. Again, notice the lemon, the lemon phrase is, and lemongrass isn't a lemon, but going back to the citrus oils and of that type of genus, you see lemon also is another good oil by itself. And lemon has been used widely for thousands of years in the Ayurvedic practice to help detoxify your organs, your liver, so many different things. So we always incorporate lemon in our detoxification strategies as well. Been shown to slow key enzymes that are linked to neurodegeneration because it is a strong antioxidant. I guess the bottom line is just think about antioxidant capability, because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to cleanse and flush the body of free radicals, which is why clove oil is another one, because clove oil arguably contains the most antioxidant, or is one of the most rich in antioxidants of all natural therapies, like period. Clove oil, I've seen reports up to 1 million ORAC score, which comparatively ORAC is the level of antioxidants in a particular substance. Wild caught organic blueberries has an ORAC score of 1900. Well, we're looking at 1 million when it comes to clove. You're not going to drink a bottle of clove, so you have to use it carefully, but it can help in a number of ways. Rosemary. Okay, you want to talk about something. Iron chelation. How many people need to chelate iron? Maybe iron toxicity, maybe whatever it could be, a number of ways because of the food or water. Rosemary can actually help. It's very promising, and it's shown to outperform oils like oregano and thyme and sage and clove. Interestingly enough, particularly iron chelation. And I mention that because I want to debunk another misnomer. Everyone talks about cilantro, which is a wonderful herb. When consumed in its whole form, has powerful heavy metal chelation ability, but in the context of essential oil, zip. And that makes a lot of sense to me because essential oils are steam distilled. So the chemical compounds are the volatile compounds in the plant, which means those compounds that evaporate quickly and easily. They're not the compounds that are heavy when it comes, or large. Again, these are very small microscopic compounds that have to go through the steam distillation process. So I would encourage you not to waste your money or use cilantro as a detoxification strategy for heavy metals because it's completely unfounded by science. Yet cilantro is great. It has a lot of benefits by itself, but just know though, in nutshell, you can't take the whole fruit, the whole herb, the whole root, and equate the medicinal properties in the oil. Same thing with turmeric or cannabis. Grapefruit is a great example. How many people are been advised by their doctor not to consume grapefruit or to eat grapefruit or juice or consume the fruit because they're on some sort of heart disease medication? That warning does not apply to essential oils because the essential oil is extracted from the rind, not from the fruit, right? So it's just really important for us to recognize there is no one-to-one comparison when it comes to the whole form and the oil. Another interesting oil that helps with iron chelation is valerian root. And valerian root, I meant to mention this earlier, but this is another good one for stress, for sleep, and for anxiety. I mean, you get 2 birds with 1 stone with valerian. Again, all these oils can be diffused. All these oils can be applied topically. Some oils are safer than others and just safe in general to consume. I'd be cautious of certain oils. Just because you want to be careful that you are consuming them in, I don't know what else say, a righteous manner. I mean, you want to always consume oils, especially for detoxification purposes, I would recommend a vegan gel capsule that you can easily get on Amazon or your local health food store. And you fill up that gel capsule with olive oil, and you just have 2 to 3, maybe 4 drops of essential oil at the most. And so lemon would be a great one to start with. It's very safe. Maybe you're a little cautious of taking pills. I get it. Maybe add a drop of lemon in your smoothie or something that is medicinal. And there's a lot of little hacks that you could do here and incorporate these natural solutions into your diet as well, because culinary doses are very effective. They're just not as strong as, drinking 4 drops of essential oil in a gel capsule. Mint oil also have a very unique approach to detoxing iron. And that's something to consider. Anything really in the mint family, which is, again, we only unfortunately have research when it comes to heavy metals regarding iron. We don't have anything else. And I can't talk about mercury. I can't talk about any other of the heavy metals because the research just hasn't been done yet. But I am very much encouraged that research has been done on myrrh to actually help protect the liver and help the liver because it is a powerful antioxidant, cleanse itself, essentially heal itself. I mean, the regenerative properties of essential oil. One recent study just came out, organ damage, reproductive organ damage induced by EMFs. Fennel oil can help. Fennel oil can protect and bring healing, particularly through that mechanism. Again, topical application, fennel is very safe to consume. It's also good for digestion and so many things for women's health. For us, I'm learning that the sky is the limit, but until we start getting more substantial research to suggest proper dosing, I'm very careful with what we're recommending. And so we recommend regular oil pulling. I got to say, I love oil pulling. If you're not familiar with it, just type up oil pulling on Google. You'll see recommendations. It's simply like a teaspoon or maybe 2 teaspoons of a good healthy oil like sesame oil or organic coconut oil, but you just add 1 drop, maybe 2 drops of essential oil, and then you oil pull. That's a wonderful way of detoxifying your mouth, but also getting those essential oils throughout your body because they will penetrate in your bloodstream by doing that. Regular diffusion, taking detoxification baths. We love lemon and lavender in our baths at night, and just a couple drops of each with a little bit Epsom salt, a little bit olive oil to help dilute it. By the way, never use coconut oil in the bath because it will harden your pipes. And that's bad news bears because you don't want pipes to be clogged. And that's happened to our friends. So we've learned the lesson the hard way. So a lot of different strategies. But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell, like the literature review that I could give you from the research that I've done over the years on detoxing.
I want to go back to oil pulling for a second because I want to do it. I've tried it and I have the gag response that I'm like, I just can't do it. It just feels so weird in my mouth. What is the minimum amount of time that you want to be doing that's effective to be doing it?
Oh, great. Now, what are you using though? What oil?
Coconut oil.
Okay, that's a start. Try something different. Traditionally, by the way, sesame seed, like oil pulling is an Ayurvedic model, and they don't use coconut oil. They use sesame oil. So maybe try maybe try sesame oil or olive oil if you have a really good oil. So just try maybe a different oil because something about coconut, because it's very viscous, it's very thick. Has a strong flavor. We've recommended people using a different type of oil and might be the taste as well, the texture, but also adding a drop of peppermint. I mean, most people like peppermint. It's a nice flavor, or lemon. So I would say try a drop of lemon, a drop of peppermint, but I would say start with 1 minute, literally. Like you want to go up to 15, 20 minutes. Start with a minute. See if you can do it. I mean, build yourself up. Pretend you're a kid back in the day and you have, 1 broccoli and then you have 2 pieces of broccoli and then you end up having your big salad. Like I try to ease people into this. You'll find it very therapeutic and you'll find that you don't need a lot. Again, maybe try a teaspoon, see what it's like, swishing it around your mouth for a little bit. By the way, it should not be a strenuous process. We've had reports of people say, my jaw is so sore, I'm swishing so hard. No. Let it just be gentle. Just keep it in your mouth. You won't even realize it's there. But yeah, you'll find that you'll find something that works for you. And then hopefully you can build up to, 2+ teaspoons and you can do it for 15, 20 minutes. And it's also in a time when you're not thinking about things. We love doing it in the shower. I mean, again, what am I going to do in the shower? It's good 5-10 minutes in my shower. So when my wife and I get ready in the day, we like to put some oil in our mouth, drop of essential oil, do our daily routine. Have a mason jar or your garbage can nearby that you could spit it out. Cause again, don't put it in your pipes. Trust me, trust me. Don't put it in your pipes, but that's a good strategy. Who knows? That might help. You, JJ, you test it and email me. I'm very curious to see if any of those tips will help.
I will. I do have sesame oil and olive oil. And I actually, as we were talking, put drops of lemon. Yesterday, I did 1 drop of lemon and 1 drop of ginger in a large water bottle. And then I was like, well, the ginger's a little strong. It was just 1 drop. So I'm like, I think I'll just go to 2 drops of lemon.
Yep.
So I've been doing 2 drops of lemon in the water bottle just because I tried to replace, I do bulletproof coffee and I'll add cinnamon. And after our last show, when I was thinking about our conversation about turmeric and how much more powerful the oil is than the powder, right? Because of the concentration, I thought, well, maybe I'll put cinnamon bark instead of cinnamon in my bulletproof coffee. But one drop of cinnamon bark, and it's very strong.
Yes.
I don't mind it, but I don't love it. So I was trying to find other ways to add a drop or 2 here or there in places where I'll actually really enjoy versus just tolerate. So I think I will try I haven't heard of olive oil before. I always heard coconut and sesame for the oil pulling. I will try both, and I love peppermint, and obviously I have lemon. So does it matter? Again, is it just preference, the essential oils for detoxification of your mouth when you're doing the oil pulling?
Yeah, I guess it all depends, meaning all of the essential oils are antimicrobial to a variety of level, viruses, bacteria, fungi, all that stuff. That's what they are. I mean, they're essentially nature's medicine to protect and heal the plant and ward off vectors. So what I like to do, traditional oral health oils are peppermint and clove. Clove is very healing, extremely antimicrobial. You're essentially trying to kill really the bad bacteria and allow the healthy probiotics essentially is what they are, the good bacteria, to exist in your mouth. And so, certain oils are very caustic, like thyme and cinnamon is one. Oregano, you might be careful for those. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just something along the lines of, you start small. Lemon is a good one to really start off with. It's very healing, full of antioxidants. Lavender is actually a really good one. Roman chamomile, those are very soothing, healing. They shouldn't aggravate you at all. One tip too, when it comes to consuming essential oils in a tea, like I love my matcha green tea lattes. I add a drop of, actually a couple, but I'm making 32 ounces at a clip. And I add 2 drops of cinnamon bark and 2 drops of peppermint, and that does good. So maybe JJ, you might want to double your recipe and keep the 1 drop of cinnamon and 1 drop of peppermint. You might find that a lot more pleasant because you barely even taste it, at least with the recipes that I've been making. And make sure there's, obviously you have your MCT and you have your butter, so that dilutes it. That might be helpful. I don't know if you're using like 8 ounces or what, but maybe go up to 32 ounces and maybe split it open over the next 2-3 days.
I will try that. Although I'm not going to be drinking 32 ounces of caffeine. So
not today, but over the next 4 days.
Not today. Right. Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. I could reheat it, but no, I will absolutely try that. Something just hit me intuitively 2 days ago when I thought, I'm going to fill this water bottle up and might put some lemon and ginger in it, because I do have actual lemons, and I would just stick the piece of lemon in the bottle. And I'm like, but this is fast and easy. And I do have ginger, and I also do have ginger in the kitchen, but then I have to peel the rind off of it because I don't want that floating in the water. And then I have to let it sit for a certain amount of time for it to steep enough and to really become ginger flavored. So I thought, and it was cold water, not tea. So it was just easier to do a drop of lemon and a drop of ginger. But back to the oil pulling and clove. It's funny because years ago, something with my tooth, I was looking for something that would help with trauma, and clove came up, and I used clove and I thought it was very effective. And I like clove, like the way it smells. I cook with it. I have recipes like from Jamaica I make my own jerk sauce, which has clove in it. And there, lots of different recipes that have clove in it. So I appreciate the flavor and the smell of clove. It is very strong and very powerful. So we'll see. I'll kind of work up to finding the right oil and then finding the right combination of essential oils. But yeah, it's definitely something I wanted to talk about on the show. I know I've heard so many people talk about who actually do it, all the benefits of oil pulling. I believe it 100%. It was just that I was gagging and couldn't do it. I have this, and I want to be able to do it. So now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tap on it. I'm going to do some EFT before I do it. And I'm going to prepare myself to be able to completely with ease go through 2 minutes to start. We'll see, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, it's actually very common. And it's usually, I only hear it when it comes to coconut oil. It's something about coconut oil that triggers that response to a lot of people, which I get it. I mean, most people aren't used to having a bunch of oil in their mouth. I mean, it's a lot.
Right. And I chose coconut because I like coconut oil. It's
Who
one of my
doesn't?
favorite oils, but yeah, good point. Okay. There is so much information here. Now, is any of this organized in this way in literature you have either through your book or on your website?
Yeah, both. I mean, the healing power of essential oils is my baby. That's my opus magnum. I cannot tell you how many people that's reached in 8 different languages around the world. That's the one to get. Amazon's got it on sale for like 12 or 13 bucks always. It's a great one. My website, naturallivingfamily.com. I mean, just type up everything. Type up detox, type up stress, type up anxiety. Like I literally just read a list off of my website. Well, it's very helpful. I don't memorize all these things all the time, so it's all there. My literature reviews, my reports, how to apply these essential oils, recipes. Yeah, just check it out. All these are free to serve you and your family because they've helped change my life and literally millions of people around the world. And, one little tool in your tool belt.
But an important one, and one that most everybody who's listening to the show is appreciative of, because we're always looking for the cleanest, purest, most effective way to help our bodies heal and to be strong. And so let's go to one level deeper in the detoxification process. We've gone over the different kinds of oils, both for the stress response, for helping people to kind of calm down, come out of their reptilian brain into their limbic and hopefully thinking brain, and out of that stress response. And now we've given them a bunch of recommendations for oils they can use for different kinds of detoxification. What would be your general recommendation? And I'm saying general because we can't make any kind of recommendation. Everyone's going to be different, just like we've already discussed in terms of your response to the oil, what triggers you to feel good. Sometimes if it maybe triggers you to remember something and then you feel bad, you have a negative response. So generally speaking, what is your rule of thumb for recommendations on how many times a year, a month that people should be either doing some kind of detoxification? Maybe it's every day. What are your recommendations?
I love that question because my reaction and my response is visceral. It's like immediate and it's in my gut because I'm convinced that unless we are living a detoxed life, no detoxification is going to get you out of jail. And I want to get people out of the mindset that you can live like hell and eat crap food and go to fast food all the time and just put chemicals on your skin and smoke and drink till you're drunk every night and then detox. And I got to tell you, I'm being very real with you. There are many people in the health world, experts, health influencers. I see them. They're doing drugs, they're going on benders, and then they go take activated charcoal the next day and do oil pulling and think they did their body good. That is absolute just abuse to your body. So I say that to say this. For sure, we need to live a detox life. And that's every aspect of life, everything that you breathe, every product that you put on your skin, any food item you put in your mouth or drink, every thought that you have. You need to think anything and everything will either produce life or produce death. There is no middle ground. There is no middle ground. And I will encourage you with a mindset that not everything in moderation. No, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Everything good in moderation. And I'm very passionate about that because I'm I'm free. It's been 17 years. I was an addict. I was an alcoholic. I abused narcotics. I was suicidal. I know what it's like being in a pit. I know it's like being bound to a substance, and all things in moderation. What's that mean? Just a little coke bender this weekend, just a little bit of adultery, just a little bit of stealing. No, if it's not good for you, you abstain from it. So as you learn, that's why I love your work, JJ, the more people learn from you and from others on this show and your websites, how to live and what's good and what's bad, you stick with the good stuff. So for sure, you need to keep your body in a state of constant detoxification. So your food should be rich in antioxidants. With that said, let's assume you live the detox life. What does that mean? Well, once in a while, and it's because of the air that we breathe, and maybe you're on vacation, and it's just really hard to get good water, whatever, like the oil change. Most cars can go 3 to 6 months for an oil change kind of thing. Like, think of it in that sense. Even though you are feeding your body good, I would recommend consider an annual detox, maybe for your liver, maybe for your gallbladder. We love colon hydrotherapy, colonics, like that's an annual thing to do. If you have an issue like a SIBO or a Crohn's or a gut concern, you might want to do that more often. But, again, I see the quote unquote detox, like I'm detoxing this week, I'm just drinking juice or I'm doing whatever, variety of different detoxification strategies. Are something that you do maybe every 6 months at most, if not annual. And most healthy people that I see, they do really well. But you know what? Listen to yourself. And I'll never forget a friend of mine who's a health guy who, allowed himself a little too many Christmas cookies one year. And he's like, just kind of ate yucky. And he knew it. But he's like, you know what? I detox every first or second week of January because, I like to eat my holiday sweets. And he feels it. He goes, I know it because I'm tired. I'm sluggish. My libido's not where it should be. So my answer to that is also, what do you want? What do you feel? Do you feel sluggish? Do you feel a little brain fog? Do you feel, I'm not sick, but I'm not really good? You probably need a detox. You probably need to do something. At the very least, go vegan for like a few days and just eat some fruits and vegetables. It's not going to hurt your body. Try getting a colonic, do a coffee enema, like those sorts of things. Just cleanse your body, give your body a break from eating all kinds of high processed foods or whatever. So just some overall advice that has really served me well over the last, 17 years or so that I've been doing this.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the information that we've been able to share today. I know that people are going to listen to this show over and over again because they're going to want to write down all those different oils that we talked about. But I'm also going to make sure to put in the show notes, naturallivingfamily.com, and any links that I find for you that takes you directly there. So know that you can, I would recommend also getting Dr. Z's book, at least The Healing Powers of Essential Oils, because that one is going to have all that kind of, there are 2 books, right? And the other book is The Essential Oils Diet.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Right. 2 books, guys. So get the 2 books. I'm going to send you to naturallivingfamily.com. You can find the books there or on Amazon. Dr. Z, thank you as always for being such a light on the show. And I've always had a passion for essential oils and as such a powerful nature's medicine and wanting to share that with people, but waiting for the right person to come along to help me do that didn't have necessarily just selling them oils in mind and could actually speak to the research and the science behind that. This is really a good choice to have on hand at all times for just about everything. And today, especially using it for stress responders and for detoxification. So thank you again for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. See y'all.